Nimra, this is such a beautiful film for you. And Azra and her mother, Miriam, they say could not be more different, but they seem more alike than ever. Is that how they explained their relationship to you?
I think I think we sort of when I read the script and it was, the time traveling thing where the mother you see first and you see the mother in what she has become. Living in Canada, living in sort of an exile, you know, as a lot of people end up living in the West and sort of as a sort of trying to find a different identity for herself uh, than the identity than who she was, the person that she grew up as. And so I think I knew it deep down that there was another person there. Always there is, right? There is, and we have to sort of try to fit in. And then we try to fix things by being people that we're not. But I always thought, and I didn't judge the character of the mother for who she had become. And I could always see that there was a spirit that just kept showing from time to time, that she was trying to hide. So yes, I think I could see that the mother and the daughter were sort of almost almost the same people in different universes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Ayana, did you and Amrit spend much time to sort of connect the two of these two characters together, or did each of you sort of put your puzzle piece in individually?
I think that it was kind of both. Me and Amrit had one day overlap in Nova Scotia. And she actually, her and Nimra, they took me trick-or-treating for Halloween. And so we kind of spent time together that way. And I remember her, she came to me and she was like, there's a scene where I have to write on my notebook and I'm left-handed. And so I was writing and she was like, Ayana, you're left-handed and I'm not left-handed, but because you were left-handed in the movie, now I have to be left-handed. And so it was kind of like, those similarities. But I think on top of that, there was also like, my interpretation of Azra as a kid, and then her kind of taking that and making it bigger with her when she grows up. And so there was like we had a connection that we kind of interpreted our own ways.
Hamza, I think this character is Hassan just so great for you because there's this duality to him. You get to play him young and old. What was it like for you having to play double duty the entire film, switching back and forth to these younger version where he knows this about the mom and an older version where he's being wiser with his daughter?
Well, I think just in the way that we shot it, I think I benefited from the schedule 100%. I did the older version first. So the great thing about that is I didn't have much time to prepare. I think we finished season 2 or 3 of Transplant the day before, and then I caught the red eye and I started filming the next day. So everything in the older version of Hassan that we filmed in Halifax, all the Canadian Hassan stuff that you see, is just me pretending to be my father in this situation. All the body aches, all the bad jokes, everything. It's very much just my dad trying to put a smile on people's face while hiding his own um I don't know, just life. And he's just very much in it for other people. And that was, on his best days. A lot of that was just, Hassan is my father on his best days. Then we flew to Pakistan. There's this entire change of atmosphere, there's an entire change of schedule, costumes, appearance, all of this. And so I kind of the benefit from that is from a character perspective is because the younger version of Hassan has no idea what the older version of Hassan did or does or who he
Sure.
becomes. I kind of just like, all right, we're done with that. And I did this thing of just like, well, I have heard my father tell stories about this era of Pakistan since the day I was born, and he was just like, oh, I used to be this guy, I used to be this cool guy, you know what I mean? I'm just like, how would and then so I kind of got to relive those stories, and it was very much okay, cool. This weird virtual reality, thing. Like if I put on VR glasses and was my dad growing up being this like cool guy who had a good job at the airlines in Saudi Arabia and would come back and just be like this hot shot, like meeting, like he's like a suitor for, eligible bachelorettes and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of our dads have, in my generation, a lot of our dads have that story and have this thing because,
Sure.
especially in North America, that's essentially what happened. So it was really two different characters for me, and the beautiful thing is because the writing offers it, they have the same essence, but I don't really think I had any trouble differentiating between the two because the circumstances and the location really did 90% of that work for me. Everything else was good coaching and intuition, so it was nice.
And were you already fluent in Urdu so that you could
Yeah,
speak?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Much to my parents' chagrin, I just don't do it daily. But if you tell me what to say, like like it's just, and you become more fluent. Obviously, very rare is the occasion, especially as a South Asian or even Pakistani actor in Canada, that you're going to be in a room with majority Pakistanis. So to be in Pakistan doing it, just the fact that we're actors. All we want to do is belong to something, and as a result, when everybody's speaking Urdu and everybody's conversing and communing in that language, when I came back like a month and a half later, my parents were just like, "अरे तुम्हारी उर्दू तो बड़ी अच्छी हो गई," and which is good. They were just complimenting the fact that I got better, and they were like,
I was gonna say,
why can't you maintain this all the time? And I'm just like, I don't know, because you left Pakistan in the 90s. I'm like, that's not me. Don't put that on me. So yeah.
no, but there's so many beautiful, poignant moments to this movie. Is there a particular scene where you're most proud of the work you put in?
Okay, that's that question is definitely a no because I don't think I'm proud of I'd never have that feeling as an actor. But I think the good thing is that when it's a good film and it's been done well, then I can sometimes forget that that's me, and I can watch it. And so I've had lots of fun watching it with people, forgetting that that's me on the screen, and I could have been, like 10 pounds lighter or whatever, or all the thoughts that are going in through my head at that time. I was able to forget when I watched it with all the people, whenever we've had screenings anywhere. It's just been, it's just been such a great feeling to see and feel what other people are feeling when they watch the film, and how they're connecting and feeling seen. So I think, yeah, that I'm proud of that. I'm proud of
I,
you.
and I have to ask Ayana the same question though, because the two of you just have these very hard-hitting emotional moments. But Hamza, my favorite moment from you, not to take away from the ladies, is in the movie theater and you're talking together. That's such a poignant time too, as well. Ayana, what's a favorite scene for you that you shot?
I I honestly think that all the scenes that I did with Nimra were just they were so emotional, and Nimra made it so easy kind of to like tap into that. Um and so, like the scene in the kitchen and the scene in the room where she tells me she's like we're not on the same team. That was a really emotional moment, and I think that me and Nimra were able to find that connection and really deep go deep into those emotions and figure out how we were going to play the scene, and I love Nimra. I love you so much. And so she was so easy to work with, and it was so amazing.
No, no, it was
So
hard to be mean to her, but also, I mean, it's true. Parents can be very cruel, and they don't know how cruel they're being. So yeah, I'm sorry.
even on-screen parents have moments of regret and
Oh,
difficulty
absolutely.
with their on-screen.
So many hundred apologies have to be done after the scene.
So this movie has so many messages to it. Is there a particular emotion or thought you would like viewers to take away from their time watching this film?
Love your daughters. That's it. It's tough. It's tough for women. It's tough for women of color. It's tough for queer women of color, and if if I'm speaking from my perspective, like they deserve all the love in the world, and we just, regardless of our prejudices or how we were raised and everything like that, I'm entitled to believe what I believe, and that should never get in the way of me loving my daughter to the extent that I am capable.
So well said, and I think it's a message that's very poignant now more than ever in our society to hear those things. And all of you are so incredible. I've gushed a lot during this interview, but it's all worth it because this movie, I think, is going to touch so many people. And the wonderful work you've put into it is just incredible. So thank you all so much for your time.